The kids are back in school, and if you make your child's lunch, no doubt you worry about two things every day. One, how to change up the menu to keep it interesting, and then how to pack it so it stays the right temperature before your kids finally sit down to eat. As it turns out, September is Food Safety Awareness Month, and Ryan Brown is the Environmental Health Program Manager with the Hamilton County Health Department, and he's brought a couple of lunch boxes and a lot of good ideas with us this morning. Good to see you.
Good morning. Thank you for having me.
So my children kind of in elementary school, I think is when I would send their lunches.
Yes.
And then I think really they kind of hit that thing by the time they hit middle and high school. They hardly ate lunch at school anyway.
Understandable.
But it is really hard, the temperature part of it, and that's key.
Yeah. So in my department, we deal with checking restaurants and food temperatures, but it translates over into someone's home and preparing lunches for kids. And so if you've got kids young, old, taking their lunches, the temperature of the food is really important.
Okay.
So we've got a few lunches here, lunch boxes here, come in all different shapes, sizes, all different fun things. Anytime you're cooking food and sending it in, or sending in food that has to stay cold, you want to make sure that temperature holds 41 degrees or colder.
Okay.
So 41 is the number to remember.
How do you know that?
Well, you can always get a thermometer, and I love lots of good thermometers. I've got a variety around the house. You can take temperatures of stuff to make sure your fridge and your food is holding cold.
Okay.
But then you can also pack up your lunch boxes with plenty of ice packs.
Yes.
And so we have a dozen ice packs that we go through every week.
Okay, so and you're a dad, so you may experience this yourself. But remember the days, if you're living them now, fine, where you take that blue ice pack and you stick it in the lunchbox, and then you get home and it's just this gooey, floppy thing. And your kid says, "Yeah, but it was already warm by lunchtime."
Yes.
What do? Pack in two?
Yes, more ice the better.
Okay.
And so we usually, when we're packing a lunchbox, we're getting 2 or 3 ice packs, one on the bottom, one on the side, and depending what it is, maybe one in the middle mixed in with everything.
Okay.
It's super important to keep things like deli meat cold, cheese and dairy products. We want to keep that nice and cold. And anything else that you'd typically keep in the refrigerator, you want to make sure it stays cold until the kid opens up their lunch and eats it.
You know, lunches vary too, school to school. So you could have 3 children you're sending off to school, and one could eat at 11:15, and the last one might not eat until 12:45. So you've got to know the lunch schedule to know how much ice to pack. Is that right?
Yes. And so if you know it's a longer amount of time that your kid's going to wait, more ice is better. And you can always ask the kid, like, does it seem cold when you open it up for lunch?
Yeah.
And go with that.
You know how those ice packs get kind of funky after a while? Do you need to change them out every so often?
Well, it's always good, probably after every single lunch, to wash them off. Just like you'd wash out containers or cups that you have that you're sending with them, to wash those off too, because they get wet, they get grimy, they probably get food on it. I know I opened the lunchbox and I see all sorts of crumbs in there. And so to wash out those, and then also to sanitize the inside of your lunchbox. So some Clorox wipes or something like that helps out.
I think you brought a thermos with you, didn't you? So do kids still take soup to school in a thermos?
So my oldest does, because for some reason he really likes chili and soups for lunch. And so the important thing, if you're sending anything hot, is to make sure the food stays above 135 degrees. And so you can also use your thermometer to kind of see what you're getting at, but most likely if you're warming it up in the microwave, it's getting pretty hot. But what we like to do is, with our thermos, before we fill it up, is we actually boil a little water in a kettle beforehand. We fill it up, get the thermos nice and hot, dump out the water, and then fill it with the food, and it keeps it so much hotter. You've already preheated your thermos, and so that keeps the chili or the soup or the pasta that we sometimes put in there nice and hot.
That's a great idea. Okay, so now let's talk about the fact, though, that you're going to send your child off. Let's say that it's now October, and they want the chili. But you've got that, but you still want a cold drink and maybe some cheese. So those things have to stay cold, but the chili stays hot. What do you do?
You get a really good thermos that can hold it super hot. So that's why helping pour the hot water in there, the boiling water, to get it really hot on the inside. Most thermoses will keep that temperature nice and hot, even if you've got ice packs all around it.
Yours is metal, so you prefer that to the plastic one? You know?
I do.
Okay.
I do. I find that one holds a little better. Generally, metal holds a little bit warmer, or on the flip side, colder than plastic.
Okay, I haven't really examined your lunch boxes. I'm going back to when my girls were little. So this one does not have a pocket on the outside.
No, this one's a little different. This one's kind of cool because on the inside is actually lined with a freezer pack. And so you actually freeze the whole lunchbox. And so if you've got cold stuff, it's already built in there. So you can add some extra ice packs if you'd like, but that will keep all of your food cold, safe throughout the whole day.
I do want to ask you a little bit about just contaminations of food in general, because this last couple of weeks has been sort of a lot of newsworthy topics. One, the Boar's Head recall, if you will, or the concern was what, listeria?
Yes.
And then apple juice has been hitting the news too. So does the health department ever put out a warning on its website for parents to check periodically?
Yeah, we do periodically send out through social media and different avenues different recalls that are happening, especially ones that are nationwide or ones that are affecting Tennessee. But we generally recommend that people look at the FDA's website because they post every single recall, and you can find out anything you want about the recall, what products are affected, because a lot of times you look at the dates or the information on the product to see if that's part of the recalled product.
Right.
So whether it's the juice, whether it's apple juice or something like that that's been recalled, you want to look to see if that product has been recalled.
Okay, when you hit a certain age, for girls anyway, I can't speak to boys, but lunch boxes become a status symbol as well. Everybody wants this certain kind of lunch box. So bento boxes have become kind of a rage. Are they as safe for your food as something that's insulated like this?
Yes.
Okay.
And we also have one because we have to have one for the kids. And we put ice packs on the top and bottom of those bento boxes. And you can also put those boxes, even though they're plastic, in the fridge to pre-cool them. And so that any of the cold items are staying cold.
Anything to not pack in your child's lunch? Or can you do anything if it's protected properly?
I think anything if it's protected properly.
Okay. I think I might be with your son on the idea of chili for lunch. We're hitting those good days for that, so that's a good idea. Thanks for your time this morning.
Thank you.
You can always learn more at the Hamilton County Health Department's website. You heard Ryan talk about the warnings they'll put out there just to keep you educated and aware of what's going on regarding your whole family's health. It's health.hamiltontn.org, and there's their phone number as well. Love the boiling water trick. That's a good one.
Cod-Rite Tree Service provides no impact removal, trimming, and maintenance, which protects your property and landscaping. Fully licensed and insured